Once upon a time, in Berlin, Germany, there were two famous families. The famous families were named Freudenberg and Greenfold. The Freudenbergs became famous after Philipp Freudenberg bought and became owner of the Hermann Gerson fashion house in 1891. The fashion house sold mainly fashionable clothes. Philipp had a son named Hermann. In 1897, Hermann's son, Georg, was born. Hermann Freudenberg built their house between the years 1906 and 1907 for the family. The house was designed by Matthews, a well-known architect in Europe. The family had a special room for concert and a work studio for discovering new artists. There were also collectors of work made by artists such as Van Gogh and Rembrandt. In 1919, Philipp died, and Hermann and his brother Julius became co-owners of the fashion house. After World War I, since 1922, when the women began to work and to buy fashionable clothes, they had an economic prosperity and were known all over Europe and America. After both of the brothers died, Hermann's son Georg became the owner of the fashion house. The Greenfolds became famous after Falk Valentine opened a weaving and fabric company named F.V. Grunfeld. It was opened in 1862 and it became known all over Germany. The company sold fabrics and custom clothes. In 1882, Falk was given the title Supplier of the Grand Duke of Mecklenburg. Falk died in 1897, and the company was inherited by his sons Heinrich and his brother. Heinrich's daughter Hildegard was born in 1899. The brothers opened a new shop in Berlin in 1905. In 1928, as the head of the Commerce Union, Heinrich was one of the persons who signed the Rentenmark, which was a replacement of the paper mark after World War I. Heinrich died in Berlin in 1936, still owning his company and remaining in Germany, probably because of his dedication and love for Germany. In 1923, Hildegard's older brother, who was a good friend of Georg, introduced Hildegard and Georg to one another, and after a year, in 1924, they got married and had their first child, Peter Hermann Philipp. After they got married, Hildegard went to work at Georg's fashion house. Their second son was born in 1927, and he was named Ernst Julius Heinrich. They lost their ownership of the company in 1933 at the beginning of the Aryanization, which is a term coined during Nazism referring to the forced expulsion of so-called non-Aryans, mainly Jews, from business life in Nazi Germany. But Georg remained the co-manager of the company. In 1935, they lost the business because of the Aryanization program, and in 1936, Georg and Hildegard decided to leave Germany and immigrate to Israel. They did so by traveling to Belgium and from there to Italy to board a boat to Israel. To board the boat, they had to sell a Van Gogh painting so they would have enough money to get the certificate to settle in Israel, and after that they sailed to Israel. When they got to Israel, Georg and Hildegard decided to change the names of the family members. Georg was changed to Gideon, Hildegard was changed to Adassa, Peter Hermann Philipp was changed to Chaim, and Ernst Julius Heinrich was changed to Joel. After coming to Israel, Hadassah and Gideon searched some agricultural settlements to live in, such as Kfar Giladi, Nahariya, or Naalal. They decided to settle in Naalal and to live as farmers. Gideon wasn't ready to live his old life that he had in Germany, so on some nights he used to give lectures to youth about music, art, physics, astronomy, and even nuclear bombs. On the day of the Declaration of Independence, Joel joined the army. He asked to join a non-combat squad, so he was placed in Beit Eshel, a settlement near Beersheba. While he stayed there, he wrote to the family about the war and his work there. Like Gideon and Adassa, Joel met his wife Ruthie when he was at her house with her older brother. They started it around the year 1949, and in August 1950 they got married. After that they had 5 daughters. The fourth daughter, Smadar, was born in 1964. In August 1992, she got married to Yoram Levy, and they now have 4 children named Noam, Alon, Amir, Doron, and they are living happily ever after until this very day, the end.